Have made it into the NFL playoffs for the first time in 18 long years.
Going deep, and he's got plenty of numbers. Oh, he dropped the ball. An NFL high 12th dropped pass.
You suck, you jackass.
Colin Sexton has the Cavs last 17 points, looking for 20. Oh, my!
You're tuning into the We Like Sports Podcast with Austin, Keith, Payton, and Riggs. Make sure to stay tuned for your latest sports news on the We Like Sports Podcast.
In my nose. I don't want to play no more.
Why don't you shut the hell up?
And
welcome to the We Like Sports podcast with Payton, Vince, and Pat. And apparently, when
I'll talk as soon as I get this in.
all right, but apparently, when we end up doing a sports podcast, though, it might help knowing who's actually starting for the local team.
145. Brandon, are you watching? What?
I was talking about the fact that maybe it would help if we actually knew who was pitching in a sports podcast. And
Aaron Savale.
yeah, I know, but this is something that we went through before we went on air.
And Shohei Ohtani.
That's what we were talking about off the air too. Are you gonna place that first?
Yeah.
I don't want to make you miss it. But yeah, maybe it might help if you do a sports podcast having at least the knowledge of who's starting for the local team that you support. But
I don't care who's starting. I care about the final score.
so why'd it matter if who was starting? Just to see if he gets shelled early?
No, because I just bet no score in the first inning.
Oh, okay. So then you're gonna is this when it comes to betting and you end up having like that situational betting? Is that something that you end up going back to betting later on, like maybe in like the 6th inning?
No, I don't even know if you can bet that.
Really, it's only
Yeah.
like the start of the game or
Yeah.
whatever.
I'll check when. Well, here, this game's live. What are we talking about?
Well, right now we're talking about betting, but we're talking about a variety of things today. From
Responsibly.
responsibly.
Yeah, bet responsibly.
Oh yeah. Is that also one of the tattoos that you have on that's hidden?
No,
No, not yet.
I didn't tattoo it on myself. I don't actually take my own advice.
A lot of people probably don't take their own advice too when it comes to the reality of life. But yeah, going back to I don't know which I think we're gonna end up going the gears of what we talked about off air earlier in the day, just because the Shohei Ohtani situation. I feel like we could dive into a little bit later. Shoho. Even though it's with an AI.
I don't know. It's probably actually Shohei.
Oh.
Shohei.
Well, we should probably not talk about the guy that's on the opposing side today, but we are.
Why? He's the story of baseball.
I know but we're gonna get into that later on when we get to baseball.
Okay.
You know, not in the tip off. But anyways, for the tip off, what we were discussing is with Marv Albert retiring. Who is your favorite commentator / analyst in sports? I feel like we could take this both ways. We could end up taking it from a local standpoint and also a national standpoint.
It's kind of hard to group them together because when you talk local, let's say we do have one viewer outside of our region, they're not going to know who the hell we're talking about.
Right.
You know?
That's the guy that talks on the radio for the Indians. I have no idea what his name is. But I mean, looking at it, I think we'll just end up starting off locally, and then if you look at local, I feel like he has to be included. We never specified if dead or alive, but I'd have to say Fred McLeod. He's easily in there for the Cleveland Cavaliers. One of the best announcers and brought one of the best moments for the Cavs in 2016.
Locally, he's probably
that's where I'm going with locally.
Top 4 to 6.
I feel like that's accurate. So, I mean, you're looking for what with a Mount Rushmore type situation. You're looking at about a 4. So he pretty much rounds out the group.
Yeah. Because I mean, in my opinion, Tom Hamilton, Joe Tate, 1A, 1B.
I was gonna say Tom Hamilton's probably my 1.
And then I mean, we can only speak on guys that we've heard.
Right, exactly.
But you had guys like Herb Score I never got to hear. Gibbs Shanley I never got to hear. People like that. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Jim Donovan, but he's the voice of the Browns.
Exactly. So, I mean, even looking at it, too, I was probably going to say...
That's what he sounds like.
Yeah, he gets super emotional behind it, especially when the Browns didn't score in years.
Puberty.
You're going to call him out for it right now?
He's like a 60-year-old man with the voice of a 12-year-old girl.
Of Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
That's funny. But, yeah, I'd have to say that, Tom Hamilton's probably in that group.
Tom Hamilton's the GOAT.
Yeah, he's definitely the GOAT. I'd have to say Fred McLeod's in there.
Joe Tate is
Joe Tate,
right there.
I know I've listened to him and I've heard him.
Well, you're young.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't remember much of him, so I don't really want to.
He retired in 2011.
Yeah,
maybe?
so I was, 2011 was when I was 14 or 15, so I wasn't really listening to basketball on the radio.
2011, I was 21.
Okay, that makes sense then. Generational
But I
gap.
started listening to the radio when I was super young.
Yeah,
I've always been a radio guy.
That's the same here. Honestly, when it was the one standpoint when after I graduated high school, it was when we didn't have cable, and once we didn't have cable, I wanted to listen to the Indians games, and I had one of those slide phones, and once you ended up like sliding it, that kind of put like the radio, which was your phone,
I don't even know
on
what you're talking
speaker.
about.
Like one of like the slide phones when you end up actually like sliding to text, like one of those types of phones.
Oh, yeah.
And they had the ability to have like your FM radio in it too.
With like the hard QWERTY keyboard.
Yeah, exactly. So you're looking at that.
Did you ever
and
have a sidekick?
that was pretty much like the closest thing to it, but I never had a sidekick.
You probably had like an LG Envy.
I had like the Motorola like demo phone that you got because we were with Verizon when I was growing up. So it was like the little like flip phone, and like my parents got the Razors, and I ended up passing out on a Razor that's about the size of like an iPhone.
I'm probably the only person of my age that never had a Razor.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you have a BlackBerry though or something like
Nope.
that? So you were never
I
one
had
of like the
Sidekick.
mainstreams. Like, the Sidekick was pretty popular
Yeah.
though too.
Yeah.
And then like the Envy
If
was
they
getting
released
popular.
the Sidekick now, I would buy it.
I don't know if I could like I don't even
I
know how
would
we
buy
get
it.
on. I don't even know how we get on the phone topic, but I don't know
You
if I
said
could.
you slid your phone open.
Oh yeah, that was
to
going.
listen to the Indians game.
Yeah, and we were going back to the summer of when I listened to Tom Hamilton every day.
On your phone?
Yeah.
I didn't even
I
know you
sat
could
on my
do that.
porch. I was 18 or 19 at the time.
Did it have like a radio or was it like an app?
It was like built in with the phone. Like it was
no
actually like
shit.
FM radio behind it, and I had like my phone in the cup holder, and I just listened to the game and just kind of chilled out and.
But yeah,
looked out.
anytime there's a big game for the Indians, I'll try. And I got this idea from somebody else. It's not my own. I listen to Tom Hamilton on the radio, and I use the TV for instant replay.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of a few people that end up doing
Yeah.
it that way. And I mean, that's always a fair assessment too, because when you end up looking at or listening to a game, Tom Hamilton, especially, I feel like that ruined it for me a little bit, like being part of the media and like being like next to Tom Hamilton and hearing him call like a swing that's actually happening, because there's still a delay. Like it happens, but it's all right. The ball's already out in like the right field warning track, and Tom Hamilton's out here saying a swing and a drive, and it's already caught. Like you don't realize that like
Yeah.
the space in between the games. And like after being at games, and like Tom Hamilton's not a quiet guy by any means. Like you could
No
hear him at the
shit.
ballpark. You could
Yeah.
hear him. The windows are open. You hear him. And that's something that when the Indians end up going to full capacity, like that's something I'm going to end up looking forward to, because that's something that's been missing since 2019. You haven't heard like that live feel behind it, unless if you ended up getting any of that like limited seating so far this year.
But yeah, locally, I don't know that there's. I mean, you could say Michael Regai, but I'm not a huge fan.
Would you count in Austin Carr at all for basketball?
I can't stand Austin Carr.
Really?
One little bit.
I feel like you have to include him
Since
though.
the day that he called LeBron the L train, I was done. I don't want anything to do with the guy. Who calls LeBron the L train?
Austin Carr did.
Exactly.
So, like, what did you take that? Like a loss, like the L
Like,
train?
you got one guy, wham with the right hand, Joe Tate, and then you got Austin Carr, throw the hammer down. Like, I'm good. I'm good.
So you had both your broadcasters
Yeah,
for
I'm good.
basketball do the same, like, signature call.
I'm good.
Looking at like football though, national wise, like there's never like a local televised game. Very rarely, if at all, that you end up having, unless if it's preseason, like a local guy calling the game for the Browns. Otherwise, that's a national
Who does
standpoint.
it local? Is it Jay Crawford now for ABC, like preseason games? Jay Crawford and Bernie?
I honestly don't know. I know like a while back it was Andy Baskin,
Yeah.
and then from there,
Well, he's not with Channel 5 anymore.
Right.
ABC.
I
I think it's Jay Crawford.
and then Nathan Segura's on the
Hey,
line.
that's
still
another
either
guy
way.
that can go somewhere. Like, he needs to go cut grass or something.
Oh man, what's your vendetta against him?
He just sucks the Browns' dick. Which, hey, that might be his job, but come on. Like, let's be real about it. To an extent, you don't have to come out and talk shit and say, oh, my God, the Browns suck. But you don't got to be like, well, the Browns are 0-16 last year, and they're looking good. Bro, come on.
I mean, you always end up having, like, I don't mean to defend him by any means, but I'm the same way when it comes with the Cleveland Indians, though, because I'm the same way that I'll end up having, like, even that struggle in April when you ended up watching him. It's, oh, well, it's only early on in the season. There's still plenty of time.
But it's not your job,
Right,
to
exactly.
cover the team.
I'm not on the physical sidelines and
Right,
reporting about
right.
it in between quarters and whatnot, which makes sense. But
Locally, and then you have like analysts, I guess you could say, like locally, Tony Rizzo's dog shit. I like Andre Knott a lot.
yeah, Andre's great.
Zach Jackson does a great job covering the Browns. Who's the guy from the AP? Tom Moore? No, not Tom
Zach
Moore. What the
Meisel.
hell is his name? Tom Withers.
Yeah, Tom Withers is a really good one too.
Yeah,
in
Zach
AP.
Meisel.
Zach's done really good work.
Nobody-
TJ Zuppe.
Nobody covers the Cavs anymore.
I've noticed that honestly. Like this
Like,
year, like
nobody-
nobody at least wants to admit
Yeah,
it. Like
nobody covers the Cavs
they're
anymore.
out there, but nobody wants to. Somebody covers the Cavs. I have to give him credit. Brian, I forgot what Brian's last name
Brian
is.
Shaw.
No, not Brian Shaw, but
The
Brian.
weatherman.
Brian Shaw, the weatherman.
Yeah, he probably covers the Cavs as much as anybody.
Oh, Brian Dulick. That's the one I was thinking of.
I don't even know.
He writes for Medina Gazette.
That's
So-
probably why I don't know who he is.
It's either that or volleyball. So
Because
depending on the year.
we went from having like 1,700 Cavs beat reporters when,
when
LeBron was
here. Yep.
and now you have 6.
Yeah, exactly. Like they have.
And there's probably not even actually 6. I'm just using those numbers as a ratio.
I'm trying to think. The Kelsey somebody. I'm missing out on her last name, but I know she writes for the Cavs
But,
for the Athletic.
What's the guy's name
Oh, I'm sure Emmett Golden is
from,
covering for the Cavs too, though.
from the Cleveland.com? Joe Varden. Like
Yeah,
he-
Joe Varden.
Who's the
Wasn't
guy
he the one that ended up like
who's-
releasing the possibility of like the Cavs in turmoil with Kevin Love
yeah.
and Colin Sexton?
Who's the other guy that the Athletic? Jason Lloyd.
Okay, yeah.
Like there were all kinds of big name Cavs beat reporters, and now you're talking about some guy from the Worcester relay page or some shit.
I mean, you even had what was his name? He always ended up like being on LeBron like nonstop. Brian Windhorst. Yeah,
that's how he got his career.
was just being on
Yeah,
LeBron.
he covered LeBron when LeBron was at St. Vincent.
That's crazy, and he just ended up just riding that wave longer and longer.
It
and
worked
just-
out.
That worked out perfect for
Yeah.
him. I wonder, like, I haven't seen ESPN in a long time. Is he still covering LeBron out in
I don't
LA
know.
then?
I don't know.
Because honestly,
Yeah.
I haven't paid attention. Like, the fact that the NBA play-in games are starting, like, yesterday, I had no
What an
idea.
embarrassment.
Yeah, I had no idea
The
it was
one
happening.
team scored like 140-some points in regulation. In
The Pacers?
in a playoff game, but a playoff game.
And the thing is, too, is after, I think, who ended up losing that game? Was it the Wizards?
The Wizards
Or the
lost to
Celtics.
Boston.
The Celtics ended up
Yeah,
winning.
118.
And then who ended up advancing? Like, because they have that other
Boston
game.
won, and Indy won.
So
I
then
don't know who the 7, 8, 9, 10 was.
I ended up taking a picture of this because I knew it was going to end up getting
Because
brought up.
the loser of 7, 8 plays the winner of 9, 10.
Yeah, because 9 and 10, you had the Pacers beat the Hornets, and the Pacers are playing the Wizards, who lost to the Celtics.
Okay.
And the Celtics moved on to face the Nets, that are
And
the
then
2
tonight
seed.
you have.
The Lakers and
By
Golden
the way,
State.
that could be the highest rated game of the playoffs, finals
yeah.
included.
I love the fact that it's
Steph
actually
v.
happening.
LeBron.
Yeah, and it's
I'll
a
be
one-off game, and
Yeah,
if
I'll be
LeBron
sleeping.
ends up, the thing that sucks too is like if LeBron ends up losing in the Lakers, they get another chance,
Yeah.
which sucks because like with a game like this, I feel like it has to be like more so like the winner of the 9 and 10 and the loser of 7 and 8 for that playing game.
So who's your favorite national broadcasters?
Oh.
Announcers.
Favorite national wise, Joe Buck is definitely not included. I
Piece
just
of shit.
I feel like I'm leaning more so towards like football guys. Like I'm thinking Tony Romo. Like he's definitely proven himself as a broadcaster.
I love Tony Romo and Jim Nance.
Yeah, Jim Nance is definitely in there.
I love Gus Johnson. He does college football.
Okay, yeah.
Kirk Herbstreit's great.
Kirk's really good. I
Um,
enjoy whenever he ends up calling one of the games. I'm trying to
Joel
think.
Klatt's very good.
What about for baseball though? Like who else is there nationally for baseball? Like do you count like Alex Rodriguez for ESPN? Which if you do, I'm
think
not a
he-
fan.
I think he does a good job.
I'm not a fan of just like that's going back to the
I'm
time with
not-
the Yankees.
I-
That's
I
judging
don't-
my time.
yeah.
I never really take the time to actually listen to him.
I don't like Vasgersian.
Which one was Vasgersian the one that ended up
He does
calling
the show.
Okay, the one with the Lindor, the swing and a drive to against the Yankees in the 7-7 game or whatever.
Yeah, it might have been.
The Santa Maria guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Matt
don't,
Vasgersian.
I don't know who does baseball for Fox, like FS1.
And it's not David Ortiz. I know David Ortiz.
John Smoltz.
Yeah, John Smoltz. Mate, I'm actually curious now at this point. Broadcasters.
And who else? Like you get into the analyst side, Charles Barkley is like by far the greatest in my opinion.
Oh, Charles Barkley's definitely
Like a studio analyst.
yeah, he's definitely
great.
he's up there with that. And I want to say I honestly want to include in Shaq then too because I feel like Shaq just he brings a good sense of information and a good sense of like humor and like
Yeah, I
he's
think
not
Kenny's
like
better.
a robot. Yeah, Kenny. I honestly all of like if you have to pick like a group that I feel like that would be more of a group setting like NBA on TNT.
Yeah, that's the best studio sports show.
Oh,
on
absolutely.
TV.
It's the only and like it's not always about like basketball either. It's about everything.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna laugh, you're gonna end up talking about sports. You're gonna be mad that your team lost, but you might end up smiling
and
afterwards.
EJ does a great job, like controlling
Yep.
that group.
Oh yeah, that I give him so much
Yeah.
credit because that's so difficult when you have guys like Charles Barkley that just get off on a tangent.
And then who else? Like Vern Lundquist, I liked him a lot.
I'm looking at these. Tom Hamilton's even mentioned as one of the. I'm shocked as one of like the like top national broadcasters because I guess they're divvying it up like and not instead
Oh,
of
well,
like
then you got to bring in Vince Scully.
yeah Vince Scully easily then and like if that's the case,
Who is the dude from? You can put it on the board. I can't think of goddamn.
from the Yankees.
No,
Look, yeah, that's right because put it on the board. Yes,
is that the Yankees?
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was one of the Chicago teams.
Oh, that's no. Which IGN is it? No, it's not IGN. WGN. Another name though is Dave Niehaus, the Seattle Mariners former
Ken
announcer.
Harrelson.
That's the one.
Yeah, I think.
They have Bob Costas in here. All right, now they got like
Yeah,
now we got
Hawk Harrelson. He does the White Sox. That's what I thought.
Gary Cohen. That's in like the top 10 territory.
Mike Tirico's a good one.
Yeah, definitely.
I love Tirico.
Oh, I bumped the wrong
Who's the
button.
guy that does hockey on TV for NBC? He is fantastic.
Which I feel like it's always safe to. Oh, Harry Carey. That's another good
Yeah,
one.
that's a good one.
Jack Buck, the lesser of the two
Yeah.
Bucks. Don't tell me that Joe Buck's number one.
He
No,
probably-
Vince Scully is.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
God. Yeah, Vince Scully is easily like. I ended up like that's one of those like that you end up respecting and you get
And
to
there's-
know who
there's
he is.
There's got to be so many names we're not thinking of.
I know it's like there's so many national perspectives.
Like
Like
John Madden was good. Al Michaels is great.
oh, Al Michaels.
I like Chris Collinsworth. I know not many people do. Like you said, Romo's great. And Jim Nance. Who's the other old white guy? Bob Costas.
Yeah, Bob Costas. Bob Costas is in just about everything. Like
yeah.
hockey,
Yeah.
Olympics,
Yeah.
whatever, he's there.
Speaking of, that's coming up, isn't it? The Olympics?
So it is, but also seeing on Twitter today too, they were saying that like there's like Tokyo doctors because I think it's in Tokyo, but like there's Tokyo doctors that aren't sure if they want it to happen because they don't know if there's a medical
Ron
clearance.
DeSantis offered to have it in Florida.
Really? And
Yeah,
they're
have it in Florida. I love the Olympics.
yeah, like that's some of the most competitive. Like
Like, I will watch motherfuckers walk. I love the Olympics.
yeah, like that's. I never really got into like the whole entire like opening ceremony.
No,
But-
it's dumb.
Right, but like everything else though, like when it comes to like the actual like
But the
competition,
events,
yeah, absolutely. Like I'll end up catching myself watching
like
whatever
watching the
curling.
gymnastics.
Like who watches curling
Well, that's-
regularly?
That's winter.
But
We're talking
who
about
watches
summer. I do.
curling regularly?
Well, when I see it on TV, I'll watch it.
right, but it's not something that like it's like in like
But I
our
don't-
backyard.
yeah, I don't know.
Like
There is a bar locally that has curling.
really?
Yeah.
I had no idea. But yeah, like even like with summer ended up at one point, but they don't anymore. Didn't they have baseball for Summer Olympics, but they don't have it anymore?
Yeah.
And I think same thing with softball now maybe.
Well, they do the Baseball World Classic now. I don't know if that's
That's kind of like a
in
substitute,
place.
but that's also But doesn't basketball and FIBA, like World Classic or whatever, like have like the two separate ones?
Yeah,
So you have
yeah.
Olympic basketball
Yep.
and then you have whatever competition for that too. Oh, like there's so many. Like I ended up reading that like a Tokian doctor wanted to
A
have.
Tokian doctor.
I just rolled that off. It
yeah, I was
sounded
gonna
right.
say there's no way that's like an actual thing. A Tokian doctor.
Why? Why is there no such thing?
Look it up. I guarantee you, Tokian is not like a fucking word or something that people say.
Well, I mean, it came out of my mouth.
Tyler, hashtag Tokian doctor.
Man, but he ended up saying something along the lines that they don't want to have like the Olympics because they don't know about like medical clearance, and with everybody being vaccinated,
Here.
non-vaccinated, you should do it in Florida, like you
Okay.
mentioned.
Listen, this is how much bullshit that is. For the Olympics, they like when they laid like the ground rules and everything, they like you have to wear a mask, horse shit. You have to socially distance, horse shit. So they laid all this shit like what you can and can't do. Do you know what they're giving the athletes?
Nothing.
Condoms.
What?
Dead ass.
Whoa, hold
They're
on.
handing out condoms. So
Why?
hey guys, wear a mask, socially distance, but fuck if you want.
Oh man. Really?
Yeah, I swear to God.
Did I
I
go
don't know
back
which
to
ones,
grade
but-
school? Did I go back to
Yeah,
not grade
I
school?
don't
Maybe
know.
like high school or
Yeah,
like middle school.
I don't know what grade school you went to.
They're like,
Handing out condoms in second grade.
Jesus Christ.
They give you a banana or a cucumber too?
Well, obviously it wasn't that size that it is now, so I mean I'd have to end up surviving with a cucumber at the time.
You know those like mini pickles?
Yeah, that's
That's what I
relatable.
practiced on.
See, I should know when to
Vienna
joke with you.
sausages.
That fits Brandon, right? I mean, you mentioned
Yeah.
him earlier on. That's all I hear all the time is that
Yeah.
it fits like a glove that way. But yeah, I mean,
Fits like the OJ glove. Glove's too small.
they're really giving out condoms
I
though
swear.
at the Olympics.
Yeah.
So like France and
I
like
guess it's
Germany
just
could
like a
go
big fuck
intermingle.
fest.
Man, I I never knew that about the Olympics.
Yeah.
No idea. I'm shocked. I'm genuinely shocked that imagine that. Like you end up having a relationship with this chick from France and then like next thing you know, oh, I'll see you in 4 years. What?
Yeah.
And then they just like pick up wherever they left
Then they
off.
show up with a baby.
4 years later, how could you tell then? Like do you end up getting a DNA test in the middle of the Olympics?
I don't know.
I'm curious now. I got answers or I got questions and I need the answers to. But yeah, I mean, I can't believe that they actually they're handing out condoms for the Olympics.
Yeah. I mean, they don't want like fucking AIDS running rampant through that bitch.
Well, no, not after COVID at least.
Chlamydia or some shit. Gonorrhea. You ever had it?
No, I haven't.
Me either.
Was it painful though?
I never had it.
Okay, I was just double checking. I didn't know if that was your like cop out and your way
No,
of
no,
backtracking.
no.
But yeah, I mean, going with the Olympics though, what has to be your favorite summer Olympic sport then?
Probably gymnastics.
Gymnastics?
Like, but not like the floor bullshit where they're just dancing. Like that's not gymnastics. That's dancing. Like on the bars and like the horse thing. where they
the hobble
do
horse
all
or
the-
hobble
they do-
horse
yeah,
or whatever.
they do all the fucking crazy ass flips. Like that shit is just so. I like swimming too.
Swimming's pretty good. Isn't like the high dive and whatnot off that then too?
Yeah,
in
the
the
high
summer?
dive's cool. They had that. You had that Lucanus guy.
And then, so I also like.
You're
I've-
probably too young.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I skipped right over
Yeah.
it. That was kind of like that word in like elementary school that I didn't know, so I wasn't sure about it. So I
Was
didn't
that
try.
word Tokian?
Yeah, it was Tokian.
Okay.
It came back up however
Alright,
many years
yeah.
later. But yeah, I mean, honestly, when it comes to the Olympics, I mean, everything is like interesting to watch.
Like I even watch like the horse shit. Like I can't think of the name of it.
polo,
No. Can't think of the name of it.
the horse shit,
Yeah. What is it? Equestrian.
equestrian. What do they do?
Like tell the horse when to stop and start.
Oh, that's an Olympic sport.
Yeah. What the hell? I'm not joking.
We were talking about jockeys like last week, and like he just has a job of beating the shit out of this horse, and like he just has to tell this horse when to stop and go.
Yeah.
How are you getting like how?
But they're not on the horse.
Right, this guy's just standing in front of him, going,
Yeah.
"Hey, come on!" It's like the stop sign controlling traffic.
It's basically like have you ever watched like the dog show?
Yeah, it's the same thing, but in
yeah.
horse form.
Yeah.
Holy shit! But yeah, even when it comes to running, though, like seeing some of the guys, like I feel like it's somebody that will never be forgotten. But like a Usain Bolt, for example, is crazy to watch.
Yeah. Oh,
He's
I
like an
track and field.
unhuman type
Yeah.
person, and you have I forgot which athlete, but not too long ago. Oh, wasn't it DK Metcalf ended up running in a marathon in
it
a
was
track
like
meet or whatever?
This past weekend or the weekend before.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago, and I
He
feel like
tried
that's
to qualify for the Olympics.
yeah,
That's what it
exactly,
was.
and I feel like that's something that we could end up seeing more often in the
I think
future.
they made golf an Olympic sport. I think they added that recently.
Man, like I really miss baseball being an Olympic sport. But yeah, I mean, swimming's also like when it comes to the butterfly, like I can't swim. Like I could do the backstroke.
You can't swim at all.
No, like I could swim. Like I can't do like the whole entire like breaststroke and
Well,
like
no,
butterfly
but
and
like
bullshit.
Whatever.
Yeah, I could do that.
Freestyle, I think, is what it's called.
Like I could survive for the most part, depending on how deep. Like I know my limits.
So you can float.
Well, yeah. Like I
Do you go in the ocean?
yeah, I go in the ocean.
Well,
But, like-
bruh, if
but,
you
like,
go
as-
in the ocean, you don't have limits.
But like yeah, I have limits because I'm not going all the way out like 10 feet deep. I'm
How
gonna.
do you know?
Well, like if I have
Like, do you
control over it.
always make sure your feet touch the ground? Like if you're in the ocean.
Well, yeah,
That's what I'm
like
saying.
well, like the thing is when I was a kid, when we were on vacation, my stepdad and I ended up going out to the ocean, and we ended up going a decent distance, and like my feet were like kind of off the ground. And I was just kind of like
Yeah,
dangling
but you
in
were
the water.
young, so you were probably like in like 3 feet of water.
Right, but at the same time though, is that there's this big old tidal wave or whatever kind of wave that ends up hitting like me, knocks me down. I was waiting to get like swept away with the current. And, like, my stepdad was holding on to my hand, but, like, I felt, like, every which direction of the current. And ever since then, like, after
Was
that
this
as a
the
kid.
ocean or the lake?
This was the ocean. Like, vacation Myrtle Beach type, like, vacation ocean, if that makes
I don't
sense.
vacation ocean.
I'm just making shit up at this point. But, yeah, I've been out there, but that's why I know
Were you
my
with
limits.
a Tokian doctor?
I
in a
can be after
vacation
this
ocean?
break. I can be after this break.
My God.
Well, don't go anywhere. We'll be back on the Wheel Lake Sports Podcast after this break. Welcome back to the We Like Sports podcast. I almost had a hiccup. That's why I paused.
Like an actual hiccup?
Yeah. Like an actual physical hiccup, not like I almost ended up saying something wrong like I always do because I have a lot of hiccups every day. Yeah. Isn't it that Tokian doctor? Did you see him at all? Did you see him? Is he with Toto?
No.
No,
I haven't been to that doctor yet.
Not yet?
No.
It is.
I'm sure I'm on my way.
Yeah, no shit. But anyways, changing gears now and going over to baseball now that the Indians have actually started at this time. I mean, before
I'm on 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I thought you said you're on 1, 2, 3.
No.
And I'm like,
No.
oh, that was a quick inning then. That's not good for the Indians.
No, it's good for me.
Well, yeah, but so is that what you ended up having responsibly while betting?
What about it?
Is that the whole inning or just the top half? For
No,
the Indians?
the
whole inning.
Yep, top
Gotcha.
and bottom.
Well, anyways, though, as we end up changing gears and we talk about the Cleveland Indians, how about the fact of Owen Miller is?
What are they waiting for?
Honestly, I'm waiting for the same thing. Like, honestly,
Are they worried about media backlash if they send Yu Chang down? Is that Asian hate?
it shouldn't be.
Just send him to the Tokian doctor.
Oh my god. And that's stuff that gets us canceled, Patrick.
What? It's saying Patrick gets us canceled.
Really, that too?
Yeah.
Is that something that I feel like I have to call you by your government name every once in a while. But yeah, with Yu Chang, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, Owen Miller is batting he's nearly batting 500.
It's like 477.
Like, he's nearly batting 500,
well,
which
it was
is
like
ridiculous.
two days ago. I don't know.
No, because he ended up hitting again yesterday. Hold on, let me find it. I had it in my drafted tweets. Nope, that wasn't it.
Your drafted tweets?
Yeah.
What do you do? Like, write drafts and just read them back to yourself, like, at a later date?
Well, no, I was going to tweet it out. I just never got around to it.
Why didn't you just hit send when you typed it?
Because I was busy. But
You weren't too busy to type the fucking tweet.
Let me be.
So you had all this time to type out a tweet,
Uh-huh.
but not hit the send button or
Correct.
the tweet button or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Okay.
So much time. Enough time that I could not hit the send button. Exactly.
All right.
But anyways, with Owen Miller, though, this was... I mean, all the Cleveland Indians prospects are actually doing pretty well because Tyler Freeman's on like an 8-game hit streak in Double-A for Akron.
Don't bring up Bobby Bradley.
I'm not bringing him up. This is the Owen Miller show now. What day was this? This was the 19th. So this morning he got tweeted out. So it was last night's game by the looks of it by Indians Perspective. Miller went 2 for 4 with a double, a walk, 2 runs scored, and has 8 multi-hit games on the season. And
What are
he's
they waiting for?
He's batting .479.
Oh, so
He's damn near one.
Yeah.
Like, he's almost at 500.
What are they waiting for? Do they like what they've seen so far?
Like, even like at the point too, I don't know if you ended up seeing this, but even like media, like Zach Meisel, as we mentioned earlier, when it goes from like the analyst perspective, he ended up saying too that like one of the press conferences were it was after like an Indians post game, and somebody ended up asking like what's wrong with Owen Miller to Chris Antonetti, and he was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, he only had 1 hit tonight. He's not having a 2-hit game. And like it was like a chuckle.
Maybe that's why he's in the minors.
Is because he can't consistently have 2 hits.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how much the season has changed because everybody wanted Bobby Bradley. Jake Bauers has had a good stretch, and Bobby Bradley's been forgotten. And now you're looking at Owen Miller, and Owen Miller can even play first base too.
I want to know what they're waiting on.
I honestly feel like it's something that'll happen this weekend, like a home situation.
Is it a service time thing?
But what's it matter with service time, though? Because it's going to have to be an even longer time period, right?
I'm not exactly sure how, like, the ins and outs of it, but I know there's, like, a certain time when if you call a player up, it doesn't count as a full service year.
Right.
So you get that player, like, team control for another year, or arbitration delays a year.
I think that's like a June thing, too, that, like, you have to end up being in the minor league system in June, but usually
But
that's...
is it different this year because of the delayed start?
That's what I'm wondering, and
yeah.
there's no reason for it, too, because Owen Miller, like, if he's this good right now in AAA... I'm not saying he's going to end up like AAA and the majors are not anywhere remotely close whatsoever, But the fact that you have him hitting this well and the Indians could use it right now.
Well, right now we're only 3 games out of first place.
And that's after losing 4 in a row and then finally winning last night, too.
So fuck service time.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Get him up here.
And then
if he's good, you're going to trade him in 4 or 5 years anyways.
I mean, what exactly is his position? Like, I want to say they're looking at him as like a
It
utility
doesn't matter.
guy.
He's a bat.
Right, and he's hitting as well as he is. It doesn't make sense why he's not up here. Like, he's 24, and he's hitting like that at 24.
Get him up here.
And he's played, let's see, shortstop, second base, third base. Honestly, you could include in first probably at this point. Like, if you're an infielder, you could play anywhere in the infield for the most part if you're that good, right? That's fair to say. Like, if you could play on the left side and you're already playing at second, you could move over one more and you just have to figure out which way you have to stand for your cuts.
Jose Ramirez just swung 3-0.
How ironic. How ironic that was today's show name. And
3-1.
Watch, he's going to end up hitting one out right now.
Shut up.
Hey, you brought it on yourself.
If
you
it
pointed
happens,
it
I'll
out.
punch you in the beard.
In the beard?
Yeah.
Does it look good? Would you go to Cisco the Barber to get this done?
I would go to Cisco the Barber to fix it.
Wow, fix it. Okay. You know it's just my face, too. It's not just, like,
You
the
need
beard.
to shave.
My head?
Yes.
Why? Like, all the way back.
Yeah.
Why?
Bring it on home. Because look at you.
I have hair that spikes
You're
up front.
25.
5.
Come on.
So if you want to end up getting your head shaved or your beard lined up or a haircut overall, make sure to go to Cisco the Barber at 440-320-2691. Again, that's 440-320-2691.
Book on the cut.
Or Cisco the Barber on Instagram.
Duh. Like duh.
Like-
D-A, not D-U-H.
No, like duh, like
Yeah.
dumbass. Like Payton is a dumbass. DA. See, we're getting somewhere. There's always, it makes sense. Like, how did Jose Ramirez end up finishing
He
that?
got a
at bat?
single.
Okay. See, not too bad. And then Franmil Reyes could end up grounding out, and then you're happy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the Owen Miller situation, it's very puzzling. You ended up having...
It's hard to talk about because there's nobody has an answer.
right.
Because
and it's
the
typical.
question is, what the hell are they waiting for?
Because they don't even know at this point, honestly.
Oh, good. Runner in scoring position.
But I'm trying to think what else has been, like, the conversation for the Indians is, like, not only is it the Owen Miller, the fact that he's somebody that's, you're literally waiting on him right now, and then they ended up having that demotion as well for, who did they end up demoting?
One of the dudes from the Mets.
Oh, not Rosario, Jimenez.
Jimenez.
Yeah, Jimenez. But you have him going down to AAA now, and he brought up a pitcher, and now your whole entire idea, because that pitcher was like, I want to say his name's like Jean, and he has 3 different names. I can't think of his name right now.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Well, his last name is Mejia, so we're kind of placing this together.
We're getting there.
I don't know how I got Mejia from any of that, by the way, but I'm not complaining. But yeah, you had him supposedly going to make that 5th start for the Cleveland Indians, or in that 5th spot, and now you have
What's his name did pretty well.
Henges.
Yeah.
Yeah, Henges did really well recently, but after his last appearance or whatever, when did he end up pitching last? Wasn't that against
Seattle?
Yeah, and he ended up getting not rocked, but he didn't have a good outing. Yeah. But you ended up having Mejia as the next option for the 5th spot, and now Zach Meisel earlier in the day tweeted out that the Indians' rotation goes Savale, they're off tomorrow, McKenzie Friday, Bieber on Saturday, Plesac Sunday, and Henges on Monday. So the whole entire idea of setting down Jimenez is going to Henges as starting, and I expect Mejia at some point to get a start, because you have to figure out who is your 5th starter. Like, Logan Allen's obviously taking some time off, and he's going to be figuring things out down in AAA.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. I haven't really paid attention to the update of, like, him pitching down in AAA. But you have all this potential, and you have so many bullpen arms. And I know on Friday with Troy, we were talking at the radio station at 1450 WLEC. I got bad news for you.
Yeah, I know.
But we were talking about the fact that the Indians' back end of the bullpen is you have Brian Shaw, you have Karinchak, and you have Clase. Like, you have a really stacked back end of the bullpen.
Yeah, the bullpen's great.
And Brian Shaw was somebody that wasn't to be thought of where he's at right now. Like, it was looking at a lot more so like a Nick Whitgren that might actually make more of that seventh inning setup or seventh inning long. I don't even know what that role is. I want to say setup, though, because it's a seventh inning setup and you're going to the eighth. But, yeah, Brian Shaw, too. And I ended up hearing this random fact about him, and I think this is another Athletic piece by Zach Meisel. Name keeps on getting mentioned super often. But Brian Shaw said that he wants to pitch every single day. He edits Terry Francona's lineup card to make sure he isn't marked as unavailable. And if he doesn't, the quote was from, I think, Terry Francona, but if he doesn't pitch for 24 hours, he breaks out in hives. But the fact that he's as old as he is.
What does he do on an off day?
I guess get some kind of like medication for those hives then, right? But
Does he have an EpiPen?
Or a pitching pen. Dad joke.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
That's
Brian.
That's not a knee slapper.
No, that's more like a slap me in the face.
Yeah.
But please don't. But looking at Brian Shaw, though, it's amazing how much the Cleveland Indians organization could do for him because he was kind of irrelevant
Sure.
after he left Cleveland.
Well, he went to Colorado.
And then I think he also went to. We just went over
He
this.
was
too.
somewhere
I think the
different last year.
Rangers. I think he had a 1 year with the Rangers
Yeah,
as well.
so he went to two ballparks that are the ball just flies out of.
All right, let's double check. So Brian Shaw is
That
also
is not Brian Shaw.
Yeah, that's the Gigantor, the 39-year-old strongman
I
competitor.
think it's spelled with a Y.
I swear I spelled it with a Y. All right, so he ended up pitching for the Mariners after the Rockies.
Oh, okay, so Mariners isn't a great hitting ballpark, but Colorado, the ball just
Yeah, that's
flies.
carrying off the
Yeah.
bat right away. But how much, like, you have to give the Indians a lot of credit when it comes to developing pitchers because Brian Shaw could have completely lost everything that he had, his confidence, whatever, when he ended up leaving Cleveland to go play with Colorado and go play with Seattle. And now, fast forward however many years later, and he's still pitching often. He's Terry Francona's go-to guy, which is a little bit scary because in years past you don't want to overuse Brian Shaw because he's looking at like 80 appearances in a year. But this time around, you know that this is his option. He wants to pitch and be out there every single day.
Yeah. But if you make the postseason, you better hope it doesn't fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something that's always been concerning with no matter what year with Brian Shaw. And I ended up even saying something, too, that somebody ended up tweeting out on Twitter that Brian Shaw is reaching his prime at 33.
The weatherman?
No, the baseball player that, goes in every single day and makes relief appearances.
Yeah, no, he's pitching well. I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good, pleasant sign because you didn't think that Brian Shaw being signed on a minor league contract would be as good as the possibility that your result that you actually ended up getting. But changing gears from the Indians, though, this is definitely the baseball topic we want to talk about because it is the talk of baseball, and it just happened not too long ago, is swinging on 3-0, a situation that happened the other night between the White Sox and the Twins. So, Tyler, if you could get ready to play that video for us.
Stop fucking around with Betty.
But yeah, swinging 3-0, you could tell that the Twins broadcasters were not happy whatsoever about this. And I get it, but at the same time, though, there's so many.
Wasn't the score
15-4.
Yeah.
High center field. Going back is Ref Schneider, still going back. And he has given up a home run to Yermin Mercedes on a 3-0 pitch. Does it matter? He swung away on 3-0.
I don't like it now. I mean, at 15-4, I don't like it. You're gonna get the same pitch after this. I don't like it, but
47 miles per hour.
So, you have the aspect of a position player, for one, throwing it, which it doesn't matter. I feel like it personally doesn't matter, and judging by the fact of seeing all of these athletes, like Trevor Bauer has came out and said something too, and that's coming from a pitcher that
He's
would
always got something to say.
He does, but I actually enjoy his statement, though, because he ended up saying that as a pitcher, if you're batting 3-0, you have to do better as a manager or as a pitcher. You have to find yourself out of that situation.
All right. It was a position player.
But Jason Kipnis ended up saying 3-0 too.
miles per hour.
Would you swing though?
Hell yeah!
Exactly. Like that, you have to. Like the whole entire aspect. Like
it's
the whole entire
4.
unwritten rule thing again.
Okay, it's 15-4. If I swing and miss, okay. If I swing and ground out,
it's
still
15-4.
If I swing and hit a home run, guess what? I just hit a motherfucking home run.
Yeah, and that's the approach. Like Jason Kipnis ended up tweeting out too, and like I didn't realize this was that big of a topic and that big of an issue until going on Twitter again today, because like you saw, like obviously like there was no doubt about it, and you ended up hitting a 47 mile per hour ephus pitch,
which is kind of impressive.
Yeah, because honestly, if you look back at like if you played baseball in high school,
it's got to be hard to time that up.
Yeah, and JV or varsity for high school, and you're playing at the big league level, and you have to end up slowing everything down. You're looking at pretty much changing your swing from a baseball swing to a softball swing. You're adjusting that, like that's the huge difference.
And then there's the other side of the story where they threw behind him.
Yeah,
and then Tony La Russa is a jackass.
Also with La Russa too, I'm pretty sure this is it, but when he ended up having like his car situation, what was that? Wasn't that like an accident or something? Yeah. And wasn't that a Mercedes too?
Yeah, I don't know what that has to do
I'm
with
pretty
anything.
sure because somebody ended up tweeting out that Tony La Russa ends up having trouble with like Mercedes, which
but
with the guy that hated Mercedes and then
you can't condone a team throwing at your player.
No, like Tony La Russa is so
he's old school as shit.
It's old school, and the unwritten rules come out. But even and the thing that really pissed me off with Tony La Russa was the fact that whatever Mercedes said, he didn't have his players back. He ended up saying that's why I have an office. Oh, Lance Lynn or whatever. Even as a pitcher, he said I do the same thing. Blah blah blah. And he was like, well, that's why that MFer has an office. He didn't say MFer, but it's taken that way.
So how
but that's
long
why I
until
have
Tony
an
La
office.
Russa gets fired?
I'm surprised he hasn't been fired yet, honestly. With that whole entire accident situation, I feel like he should have been fired back then. But give it time. He doesn't make it until the end of the season. Like, there's no way, especially
they're doing well.
They're doing well, but how much of that is actually going to end up being withheld when you have players that are young and Tony La Russa that could be their damn grandfather?
I don't know. Hopefully he hangs on and they hit the shitter.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
That'd be even better news if you're an Indians fan. But yeah, like even with like what Jason Kipnis was saying was with 3-0, he goes, here's my thoughts on this. You get to save your bullpen. We get to pad our stats. It's hard to hit a home run in the show. You work hard for the opponent to even try. This game knocks hitters down daily. If it throws us a bone, a 3-0, 50-mile-per-hour pitch by a position player, we're not supposed to take that. And I mean, it's fair, too, because we're talking in baseball that you're batting .230, and that's a good average, which is...
You're calling 230 a good average?
Well, I mean, like...
That's not a good average.
Either way, 250 or 300. It was a bad example, but whatever you got. If you look at 300 is a great average.
Yeah.
But you're 3 for 10.
Yeah,
Every 10 at bats, you're only getting
yeah,
on 3 times.
Yeah.
So I don't blame a position player for taking that.
230 is not a good average.
I'm looking back at depending on the position though, like it's
maybe
always
in
said,
today's world of baseball it could be.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Like
230
usually
is not a good average.
Just bat your weight. That's always been like the saying in baseball, bat your weight. Roberto Perez in 2016 couldn't bet his weight.
Is that what you do in softball?
I lost some weight too, so I mean it makes sense. But Jason Kipnis went on to say too afterwards, if you put in a position player, you've stopped worrying about this game and are playing for the next one.
Sure.
Which is smart, but you can't decide to start caring after you've waved the white flag. Again, another position player lives it. It makes sense. I can't disagree with him here because there's nothing to disagree about. Like that's just if it's 3-0, if you're getting a home run pitch, why not? Why not swing away on it because you bust your ass in the cages all the time?
I have nothing wrong with anything that happened other than what La Russa said.
And it's ironic because the more like the younger generation, which is everybody that's younger than Tony La Russa at this point in this statement,
So
But-
everybody that's alive.
Yeah, pretty much. Except anybody above Tony La Russa. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that are kicking it however old. But are we looking at my notifications?
Bruh. Clear that shit.
I did.
No,
I-
you didn't. There's 23 of them.
Yeah, I had 50 last week, remember?
Oh, my God.
I was making progress. But yeah, like the whole entire like adage of like not swinging 3-0. Everybody that's younger
How do
understands
you
it in
have
the game.
62 missed calls?
I don't know.
How many people call you?
Well, I mean, a lot of people call me and then I just text them back. So I'm like, if I know the number of the name, I'm going to end up just waiting and sending you to voicemail unless if I really need to talk to you. But anyways, I'm going to end up talking to you a little bit more during this break because it's time to take a break.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. We'll see you after this break. Welcome back to the We Like Sports podcast with Pat and Payton. I feel like that one, like I don't need to have a last name. It just fits better when it's just Pat and Payton. You know what?
Yeah, it's better when it's Pat.
Pat
Yeah.
instead of the thing
Don't
I
worry,
called you
yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I hate my fucking name.
How long have you been Pat?
Honestly, my cousin started it. I was pretty young.
Okay,
Like 10, 11.
gotcha. So do you have like a nickname?
Yeah, Pat.
Well, like besides like, but you don't like your real name. So like your nickname is essentially like your name. Do you have like another like nickname though?
Yeah, Pat.
Besides Pat, damn it.
No, I don't. No, I never really had one.
Like
When
Riggs is Riggs. Riggs isn't his real name isn't Riggs.
I feel like Riggs' nickname is Stephen R.
Not even close, dude.
Okay.
His real name's LeConte.
LeConte?
Yeah, that's his real name.
Where's Riggs come from?
Because that's a story you're gonna have to talk to him. But he was fixing things and he was
Oh, okay.
you know
Yeah, got it.
and that's how he got his nickname.
But when I was in middle school, and when I played football and it was cold, I would keep my hands in my pants
okay,
to keep my fucking hands warm because it's cold. And my coach would call me Bundy.
like Al Bundy.
Yeah,
That's funny as hell. That's
but that's probably the closest thing. I mean, I was never PV Raps.
you know, notice how much shit went downhill after that was mentioned. You know, like
You're not wrong.
like I was sitting here pretty, you know, having cookies and donuts.
Bro, you ain't never been pretty.
I know. Trust me, I know. But apparently the rap career ruins everything. The fame.
The mentioning of the rap career.
Yeah, that was whose idea was that?
You brought it up.
I don't
How
feel
the fuck else would I know that you've rapped?
I feel like that I feel I'd have to blame somebody else but me. So I feel like that wasn't me. But yeah, moral of the story, guys, if you have a rap career, don't mention it. But like I tried making it sound better too because I'm not a SoundCloud rapper, so like hey, it's kind of better.
Was SoundCloud even a thing?
Honestly, I think it was back then, but it wasn't as popular as it is right now.
It's popular now.
Well, for all your SoundCloud rappers,
I don't know what that is.
yeah, everybody.
Well,
that,
I do know what it is.
Everybody that wants to rap and puts it on SoundCloud and hopes that the Lord Jesus whatever that you end up making it on Apple Music or Spotify.
but can't you just do that yourself?
I'm not a rapper now.
No, but isn't it like kind of the same thing as a podcast? Like you could just put it out.
I honestly don't know because like you could end up putting it out, but you could end up having like a sub branch of it. So it might be like some kind of like label that would be a part of like let's say like whatever label like Kanye's sent like whatever like signed with that Kanye.
Oh, okay.
Like if you end up having like his label that's called I don't know West to West 11. I don't know. And then you end up having your own hit single, but it's under the same brand of West to West 11 instead of your rapper name, which would be Pat. Like you're not getting your own.
If I was a
recognition.
rapper, I don't think my name would be Pat.
What would your rap name be?
I would never have a rap name.
Yeah. Damn. I thought we were getting somewhere.
No,
No.
no.
So you're on the train of rap careers. Not good.
Unless you're a good rapper, yes.
You know what would probably happen is that video was probably seen shortly after, and it all makes sense.
It's possible.
That makes all the sense now.
possible.
But anyways, changing gears now and going to football. Anthony Treesh, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, but he's from Pro Football Focus, said that Tyreek Hill might be he might be the best deep threat in football of all time.
Of all time?
Uh-huh. And this is what got Randy Moss and Deshaun Jackson starting to trend on Twitter because he said this. And
No.
and like I'm trying to think of deep threats like Tyreek Hill right now.
You already said the name. Randy Moss.
Yeah, Randy Moss is the
Yeah,
top.
Tyreek Hill is not better than Randy Moss.
Like
At anything.
Randy Moss is he what like the top 3 wide receivers?
Yeah, I mean, you might be able to say like top 5. but,
Because
like,
I
for
think
sure,
Jerry Rice is in there with
Jerry
Randy Moss.
Rice, Randy Moss, Terrell Owens.
Kelvin Johnson.
Yeah, I don't know if he played long enough. There's got to be a million that we're missing.
Yeah, there's a ton. What was his name? Marvin Harrison from the Colts.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that, and that's just as a wide receiver as a whole. If you break it down as the deep threat version, I mean, just looking at it right now, you have Tyreek Hill,
Julio Jones.
you have
But
Julio
he's still
Jones,
playing, so.
you have Odell Beckham Jr. That's usually a deep threat.
Bro, who you talk? He could be the most overrated wide receiver ever.
Your thoughts are on that, like the same as well on that.
Yeah.
Because
I thought he was good when he was in New York, but I think I got caught up in the one catch.
like everybody else
Yeah,
did.
sure.
Yeah, like that's the thing is that now you have expiring contracts this year with the Browns with Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry, and
I'd resign Jarvis.
yeah, and right now with Odell Beckham Jr., there's no reason for you to end up like him coming back this year doesn't make too much sense whatsoever. There's no real reason for it. We forgot about Larry Fitzgerald too.
Chris Carter.
Yeah.
No.
Antonio Brown's in that list if he ends up being
Andre Johnson was a good one.
Steve Smith Sr.
No.
He was very like streaky.
Yeah. So I mean, we covered a good amount of the names.
AJ Green.
AJ Green, suck my dick.
Him, Antonio Brown, like those guys, like they were
Yeah, but
when
Antonio
they peaked.
Brown's a fucking nutcase.
Yeah, like he's.
Like genuinely, I believe there's something wrong with the guy.
Oh yeah, I mean, like you're telling me there's something not wrong with the guy before all this came out when he ended up scoring a touchdown and he went nuts first to a goalpost.
Yeah,
like he didn't think twice about that.
well, no,
Like
there's no way you're thinking twice about that.
no, like that's like
He didn't think once about it.
no, he didn't think at all. Like he's so like. In being a Steelers fan and hearing all that stuff come out of like all the negativity after a while and then him going to the Raiders and that going on there and then the Patriots and problems going on there, and I'm happy for him for like the perspective that he got to play with Tom Brady, but he doesn't deserve a ring. Like
Why?
I mean, his play, like off the field, like again, but off the field and on the field though don't really matter. But with on the field though, he got his time to shine. But I'm a little bit upset just because he finally got to play with Tom Brady, and what was literally going to happen that year that he was going to play with New England happened again. It just got prolonged for a year later.
Sure.
So, but yeah, like looking at it though with wide receivers, your deep threats, you have Julio Jones, Tyreek Hill. Stephon Diggs I'd included there too,
that's
right?
Fine. Yeah.
Juju Smith-Schuster?
No.
Because I'm usually thinking that
I feel like the other guy for the Steelers is a better deep threat.
Claypool.
Yeah.
Chase Claypool. Who else do we got? For Texas, or no, DeAndre Hopkins.
Yep. DeAndre Hopkins.
Deebo Samuel maybe for the 49ers. But yeah, I feel like with Tyreek Hill too, same thing. Like that's just the organization he's in. Like he's with the Chiefs. He's a good wide receiver, but I don't see him getting the same results every single city that he goes to.
Who, Tyreek Hill?
Yeah.
No.
Because
he's got Patty Mahomes.
Yeah, like you have a guy that's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Mahomes boy.
Mahomes.
That's what we need. We need Shannon Sharp's twin.
Why?
Not Stephen A's twin.
Do you think he could do both? Stephen R., do you think he could do both?
Do I think who could do both?
Stephen R., do you think he could do both?
I don't know. Let's ask Riggs.
I don't think he'll know. Why would he know?
I don't know. Just a thought.
Well, anyways, maybe that's something that we might.
Stephen R. stays at his house.
It's so weird. Like and Stephen R. will be coming on tonight around 9:00 from what I've last heard. Stay tuned for that. But
that will change in the next 14 minutes.
He might not be wrong. But yeah, Stephen R. I mean, I don't even think he's actually staying with like Riggs.
But he has before.
I know, but I've been to his house and I haven't seen Stephen R. Like he's just gone.
Are you sure?
Yeah, like dude,
Okay.
like I feel like he like just doesn't want to be social, which is weird for being like a sports analyst. But like I've never seen them in like the same
sure
area.
as hell social on this show.
I know he doesn't shut up, and he always talks about his ex-wife Betty.
Pat, don't say Jack.
Yeah, like how did that nickname like did?
I don't know.
It just kind of happened, so we just go with it now.
What does he call you?
I think it's usually Payton PP Vince or something.
Yeah.
Which is a very, very thoughtful nickname, I guess, with having a
Keith Moneyman Magra. Yeah.
And what does he call Tyler? It's been so long since he's been
Betty
on.
fucker.
No, that's Ed in Columbus. I'm not even on Twitter right now. I'm actually looking at a rundown. Let's see if Ed in Columbus. I don't think he's on right now.
Who's Ed in Columbus?
So he's just some dude that watches us on Twitter. But Stephen R. the one time.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. He even has the Wheeling Sports merch too. He got a hoodie. Big fan of Stephen R. And he ended up giving out a weird shout out to Ed in Columbus, and it was I ended up mentioning the fact that Ed in Columbus wanted to have something to say to Stephen R. And Stephen R. ended up saying something along the lines of,
We should get him on.
Ed Columbus, what's up, Rever?
We should get him on.
We could definitely figure that
We
out.
should try.
I feel like he'd be down because he's definitely he's all about the show, so
Yeah, that'd
it's
be pretty
definitely
cool.
something. And actually, too, fun fact, he was telling me a while back that he took him and his kids to the the practice facility for the Cavs, and they actually got to shoot around with Kevin Love, and his son got to play a game of horse with Kevin Love.
That's on my list of things I never want to do.
Just play horse with
Yeah.
Kevin Love. But I mean, it's a cool experience though. I'd still brag about it even if it was a terrible time.
I wouldn't,
Why not?
because it's Kevin Love.
But who else? Who from the Cavs right now would you want to end up shooting around with? That's all we need.
Is Zadrunas Ilgauskas still a coach?
I don't think
Or
so.
at the front office?
I have no idea what Z's doing. Oh, I mean, you got Anderson Varejao,
No.
kinda,
no,
sorta.
Nope.
Which, by the way, did you see his final stat line in the last 10 games was
Nope.
ridiculous? I think he ended up averaging 12 rebounds a game
You know how many Cavs games I watched?
this year.
Yeah.
Probably the same amount as me.
I watched none.
Yeah, I've watched.
I watched bits and pieces of some.
I've watched, I think, 1 or 2 full games early on.
You know how many NBA games I watched?
None.
Yep.
So, 5 games for Anderson Varejao to end his career with, 2.6 points per game, 4 total rebounds, and 0.6 assists.
You just said 12.
Yeah, I read that stat wrong.
Way off.
Dude, math.
Did he have 12 rebounds?
in one game?
No. For the 10 games combined.
Let's see.
Because that math would be closer than 12 rebounds a game.
Hold on.
You said 10 games, that would be 120 rebounds. He had 40.
I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing total rebounds is 1.9 a game.
You just said 4.
Yeah, dude. Oh, hold on. I'm reading the wrong one. I was reading Golden State in 2016, 2017.
Oh my God.
I don't know how to read stats. It's 4. That's the answer. Free throw wise, .556. I'm trying to find
Why
the
are we
rebounds.
talking about this guy?
I figured you wanted to get your Cavs in, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Your 0 games. So, I mean, we talked about the playing game, so it just makes sense.
That I watched none of.
None of, but I'm sure you betted on it.
No, I didn't.
No. Would you take the over this time of year with basketball?
Oh, speaking of the over.
See? You're welcome. But Tyler, while he's looking that up, I wanted to end up sharing with our viewers the whole entire how Peyton Manning has got a new job with the Denver Broncos. Which
What is it?
oh, you'll see it's in the video.
I can't see that.
Yeah, you can?
No, I can see it, but it's far away and it's very small. Oh, there we go.
It's all right. I got you, Pat.
Ever since my retirement, I've maintained this itch to get back into football, and the time has finally come. The Broncos have brought me back and afforded me the opportunity of a lifetime, a summer internship. Everybody's been really busy this morning. The 2021 Broncos schedule is being released today. And since everyone is really busy today,
We're good,
I
Tyler.
thought
We got to keep them waiting to figure out what Peyton Manning wants. But, yeah, I mean, the fact that the Broncos bring back Peyton Manning, the way that the headlines end up grabbing everybody was the fact that Peyton Manning's back with the Denver Broncos. But right now, at this point, though, too, this kind of goes into the next topic with the void that Peyton Manning left behind for the Broncos. Right now, they're looking at what, Drew Lock is their starting quarterback.
Well, it'll probably be Aaron Rodgers.
Well, yeah, like that exactly was the next step I was going into, is the fact that Aaron Rodgers is, like, I forgot which account ended up having like a mock like trade, but like it was like Aaron Rodgers to the Broncos and somebody else for like a bunch of picks, a lineman, and I think Drew Lock to the Packers.
But it's a very interesting conversation that was talked about. Outkick the coverage with Clay Travis. If you're the Raiders, do you fly in,
like just kind of interrupt and see what happens?
You really want Drew Lock, or do you want the same picks, a player, and Derek Carr? Like, if I'm Green Bay, I'd rather have Derek Carr than Drew Lock.
But then what do you do with like Jordan Love then and Blake Bortles and whoever else they just signed?
But they had no intent of playing Jordan Love this year, coming year.
Yeah, that is true.
Because they planned on still having Rodgers. So just let Derek Carr play. At least Derek Carr keeps you relevant. I think the Packers could still win that division with Derek Carr.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But like with the Packers trading for Derek Carr, the only issue I see with that is the fact that you have a block for Jordan Love again. So you end up having him, like, what if you have the same situation like Josh Rosen with the Cardinals, that you ended up having Kyler Murray drafted and then you have to be sent away to Miami, and then Miami got Tua, and now Josh Rosen is just kind of the biggest flop in the last 3 years when it comes to quarterbacks. So what if that happens for Jordan Love? Like, you obviously don't want it to happen.
Yeah, but who cares? Would you rather have Jordan Love, Derek Carr, or Drew Lock?
Derek Carr.
Yeah.
That's not even a question. But obviously, I feel like with football, when it comes to like drafting too, obviously, it's always about the right time and the right place. So with Jordan Love, he might just end up having the roadblock in his way, and there's just not getting around it. He might not get an opportunity.
He might, or he goes to some team after he becomes a free agent.
Yeah, like Marcus Mariota did. It worked out with him after Tennessee.
What, it did?
Well, I mean, like, he ended up having like still another opportunity.
Oh,
it wasn't that he was
Jordan
done and
Love's
over with.
Get a job.
Yeah, absolutely. And with football too, like with all like the quarterback, like I don't want to say issues, but like the changes, because you have Matthew Stafford in Los Angeles now with the Rams. You have Jared Goff with the Lions. You have Carson Wentz with the Colts. You have Joe Flacco playing with the Eagles and Jalen Hurts. And Joe Flacco ended up saying too that Jalen,
what a dick.
Dude, he's such a dick right here. Like, absolutely. Like, the fact that Joe Flacco knows, like, last year he did nothing to stand out for one anyways, but he ended up saying that Jalen Hurts is going to be a great backup. Like, Joe Flacco hasn't been relevant for however long.
But he's probably right.
He's probably right, but, like, you were, like, before that signing, though, Jalen Hurts was going to be the guy in Philadelphia.
He's still going to be. What do you think, they're going to play Joe Flacco?
Didn't you just say that, like, Joe Flacco could still be the...
No, I'm saying that Jalen Hurts, his career in the NFL is going to be as a backup.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to start next year, maybe the year after, but eventually Philly's going to come to the realization, hey, this guy's a backup.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense.
You
So,
know
like,
what I mean?
it's not going to be like the next kind of year situation.
Yeah, he's not a suitable NFL starter, in my opinion. He could be.
I mean, if you look at just the school alone, though, I mean, wasn't he Alabama too?
He started at Oklahoma, started in Alabama, went to Oklahoma.
Okay, yeah. And, like, I mean, that's the issue, though, that you run into, is that you have that happen a lot more often. But with Jalen Hurts, like, you obviously want him, like, again, it's just, like, the whole entire aspect of playing at Alabama or Oklahoma. Like, at least this Alabama scenario, you had Jalen Hurts that I still count him as being an Alabama guy, and then you have Tua Tagovailoa that who knows if he even ends up becoming somebody, too, with the Dolphins.
For someone that can't speak,
I could say
you pronounce that last name very, very well.
That's my main thing. Like honestly,
What, saying Tagovailoa?
Yeah, Tua Tagovailoa. I have no idea why. It makes zero sense, but that's the one thing I could always say, and I have no idea why. But earlier in the show, I'm talking about a Tokian doctor.
Yeah, what the fuck?
But I wanted to get one more topic in here when it comes to
Joe
the
Biden.
Browns. Joe Biden. You want to go ahead and talk Joe Biden for the next 3 minutes? That's
No, I'll
on
just
you.
go to sleep.
It's the same thing, though, isn't it?
Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe.
All right, what about the Browns?
So the Browns rookies ended up stating that they've already, I'm curious to see because I feel like this year you've heard this more often, but a lot of the Browns rookies like Newsome and JOK.
Say his name.
I can't. Kimura, I know is the last name. Jeremiah Owusu-Korora, right?
Yeah,
Kimura.
that's pretty close.
I'm pretty close. But Tua Tagovailoa, we need him on the Browns because I could say
Get
that
him on
name.
the podcast.
Why? Because I could be the first person that could ever say his
that
name.
That would be a good get.
That would be awesome. I just could say his name over and over again and be like, all right, man, it's getting a little
Okay,
weird.
what about the Browns rookies?
So anyways, with the rookies, too, they ended up having already stating that they've had a back history with the Browns. That
They've had a what?
Like a history with the Browns. They either grew up a fan or else they ended up, they liked watching them last year and, they're buying into their schemes already before playing.
So enjoying watching the Browns last year isn't having a history with the Browns. That's jumping on a bandwagon of a team that took off and played well and has been dog shit for 20 years. That's not having a history with the team. You want to talk about having a history with the team? Talk to me about 4-12. Talk to me about 1-15-1. Talk to me about 0-16. Talk to me about Hugh Jackson. Talk to me about Butch Davis. Talk to me, who was the other guy? Talk to me about Romeo Crennel. Talk to me about Eric Mangini. Then you can talk about having a history with the Browns. That kind of pisses me off.
I get both perspectives. I understand being pissed off because obviously
if this is all true, if they said they have a history with the Browns, having a history with somebody isn't knowing them for a fucking year.
That is true. And I might have ended up miswording it. But anyways, the moral of the story too is that whether that quote aside or that whatever quote from wherever I saw that aside, with them actually buying into the organization, the defensive scheme, Joe Woods has even mentioned that they can't do anything as the Browns. He didn't have the materials for him to have his defensive scheme.
Let me ask you a question.
Now this year he does.
Who signs their paycheck?
Theirs?
Yeah.
The owners, right?
Okay,
Haslam's.
Yeah. What do the Haslams own?
Gas stations?
No.
The
What
Browns?
do they own? Yeah. You think these guys are going to say anything bad?
Well, no.
Okay. So it's just all a bunch of horse shit.
On that note, we're going to end up talking to the guy that speaks the most horse shit, Stephen R., after this break.
For sure?
I don't know. We'll be back on the We Like Sports podcast
With
after
Riggs.
this. And welcome back to the We Like Sports podcast with Payton, Pat, and Stephen R. Smith.
Once again, gentlemen and everybody out there in the We Like Sports podcast, I would like to humbly apologize to every single one of you. I've been staying with your boy Riggs LeConte on the We Like Sports podcast. And since he's been having me up in his lovely, humble home, I contracted a little bit of the COVIDius 420 that he had. So I had to stay away from the studio and all you fine gentlemen and my boy Tyler.
Well, you guys are boys now?
But could you?
I mean, we're boys. I mean, we always go be boys. I mean, regardless of what happened in the past, it's the past. But we're going to talk about now, which is the future, and the future is the We Like Sports podcast, and the future is us, and the future starts now.
But couldn't you have? Couldn't you have been doing this even with COVIDius 420?
I was laying in bed and I was having dizzy spells and I was having pigs and sheep and Shaquille O'Neal jump over me and I was counting hoops and baskets because your boy was in a delirious state. One moment I'm in the fridge. Next minute I'm on the toilet. Next minute I'm talking to Brian Kellerman. Next minute I'm drawing out plays for Matt Tiff and everything like that. So
drawing out plays.
You had your boy on a dry on a crazy dry run. I know what I was doing.
Bet he wasn't putting out, huh?
Betty ain't put out since she left me for Tyler, the producer.
So, Stephen R., how's everything been outside of the COVIDius 420s?
I mean, everything's been okay for the most part, man. I'm just trying to, I've been keeping in contact with a bunch of fellow sports routine people like myself. I've been having people like Rachel Pennies, Brian Kellerman, your man Keith Migra, telling me they hope I get better. And people been keeping me inside their prayers, saying, Stephen R., we hope you get better. We need you back on the scene. We need you back out here talking sports.
Who are they praying to?
Friendship misses you. Friendship right across the street from Hooligans Gym where the We Like Sports podcast is located at.
Your friends miss you is what you're saying?
My friends and the people over at that Friendship gas station.
But Pat, what were you saying?
You said people were keeping you inside of their prayers?
Yeah, man. If I can open up my district messages, my DMs on my tweet, and there will be so many people. Your eyes will be like this. Your mouth will drop down, and you'll say, "Wow, Stephen R., you're very, very respected. You're very, very loved." And people love hearing the Chocolate Daddy talk sports. They like seeing my degrees, my plaques, my diplomas, and my sports memorabilia when I put them on the show.
So if you had to compare yourself to a piece of chocolate, what would it be? Hello? Is it buffering?
If I had to compare myself to a piece of chocolate, I'm going to compare myself to Dove. You know why I compare myself? Short, I'm chocolate as hell, and I can be hip to be square. And then when it comes to the ladies, there's a good amount that can go in your mouth.
Stephen R., before we end up going into the miscellaneous segment.
Don't say Jack.
Yeah, Pat saying Jack says all the Jack. But anyways, Stephen R., before we end up going more in the miscellaneous segment, I want to get your thoughts on the fact that Kenny the Jet Smith said that Steph Curry is greater than LeBron.
What was that again, my friend?
Kenny the Jet Smith said that Steph Curry is greater than LeBron.
And look, let me tell you something with my friend Kenny the Jet Smith over here saying that Stephen Curry is better than LeBron James. Now, let me tell you why I think he's wrong on that, Mr. Kenny Smith, Mr. two-time NBA champion. I think the reason why he's only saying that is because Steph Curry has way more hardware than LeBron James. I think he's also saying that because we're in the age of Steph Curry where your man LeBron James is not the face of the league no more. People want to look at Steph Curry. Kids relate to Steph Curry because Steph Curry still looks like a kid. People look at LeBron James, they see an animal, they see a goat, they see a freak of nature on the court with tattoos. Steph Curry ain't got no tattoos. All that man does is have crazy hair and he looks like a pineapple. He chews on his little lip thing on the mouth guard. Kids chew on stuff. Kids ain't got tattoos, and kids definitely don't take care of their damn hair. So I can see why people say that. I think it's just a hardware discussion. You understand what I'm saying?
LeBron
James couldn't get a single person to play with him when he was playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But Steph Curry had the people migrate to him like a magnet in the Golden State because Golden State was a lot more attractive than Cleveland, Ohio. You understand what I'm saying? The man LeBron James could have just as many championships as Kobe or Michael or hell, even the man Bill Russell. But people did not want to go play in the land. People wanted to go play in South Beach. People now want to go play in La La Land. So if you give LeBron James experimentally maybe another 3 to 5 years, he could be having the same amount of championships as your man Steph Curry.
He has more.
Did he say Ohio though?
I don't know, but LeBron.
Ohio.
LeBron has more championships than Steph Curry.
Oh, Steph. What does the count for Steph Curry? He has 3, correct?
Yeah, LeBron has 4.
Okay, then you want to know what? Then I'm gonna go back to my other statement. He relates more to the kid. Steph Curry looks like a kid. LeBron James is a grown man with a black mouth in his mouth, telling people that it's okay to stab one another, which it's not.
Stephen Art. Well, I guess since we're on the topic of Steph Curry against LeBron James, tonight is the play-in game between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Golden State Warriors.
What sucks is I want to watch it.
I do too. And I might end up catching some of it.
What time do you have to get up?
Well, not like 3 in the morning like you.
4:30.
Yeah, not that early. But Stephen R., who do you end up having in this matchup between LeBron James and Steph Curry, the Lakers and the Warriors?
Maybe I'll go in late.
Well, right now I'm gonna tell you something.
Okay, hold on. Before you start, I still want you to answer that question, but give me like a final score.
A final score?
Yeah, along with answering the question that Payton asked.
Excuse me.
Puking in the mic.
I want to say the Los Angeles Lakers beat the Golden State Warriors, and I'm going to say it's going to be at a high Western Conference shootout game, and I got the Los Angeles Lakers winning 110, beating the Warriors by 90 to 93 points.
What the hell? 110 to 90
for a serious answer.
Points. Wait.
So I am serious.
So you think it's going to be 110 to 30?
No, he said 110 to 90 to 93.
Oh, I thought he said beat them by 90 to 93.
He might have. I don't know.
I hope you're wrong.
Stephen R., what's going on?
Oh, man, and let me tell you why I picked the Los Angeles Lakers.
You think
I picked the Los Angeles Lakers because LeBron James, the man is like a dog. You put the dog into the corner, the man's going to bite. The man's not going to whimper. He's not going to put his tail between his legs. I believe tonight we might see LeBron James maybe have a triple-double, a quadruple-double. He might have a single-double, a five-double. You understand what I'm saying?
No,
not one bit.
What's going on?
So he's going to have 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 block, 1
steal,
point, and 1 steal.
No, he's going to do. He can do it all. I wouldn't be surprised if the man scores double figures in all 5 categories. I would not be surprised. LeBron James has a great team behind him now than he had when he was in Cleveland and when he was in Miami, Jack. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't know about that.
Stephen R., just to let you know that your name is Stephen R. and not Brian Windhorst.
Don't choke.
Could you repeat that one more time?
No, not right now. He can't.
What about Brian Shithorse?
I said you do know that you're Stephen R. and you're not Brian Windhorst, right? Because I was shoving LeBron's junk in his face. So
he's got all kinds
of. I'm not
Brian
Brian Shithorse, but at the same time, my man Adam Van Pelt told me that I was better than Windhorst.
Who is Adam Van Pelt?
Yeah, how is AVP?
Adam Van Pelt. He's the man that be on ESPN at midnight. He's bald and he has glasses.
So, like, what's your relationship with him?
I feel like you should wear glasses.
He did at one point.
I did wear glasses, but I had to sell them because I had to try to get to Oklahoma to talk to my man Keith and Big 40 Payton Hillis.
So how much were your glasses worth?
Were expensive Ray-Ban glasses. Those glasses could have bought me 4 cars and seven T-shirts, but I didn't.
4 cars and 7 T-shirts?
What kind of T-shirts and what kind of cars?
Dodge Neons. 1999.
What?
What are your thoughts on the Amish?
The Amish? Let me tell you something, my man. The Amish. When I look at the Amish people, I say, wow. I feel like that can be Vlade Divac from the Los Angeles Lakers. But now he's over here churning butter and not wearing, what do you call that, deodorant. I feel like the Amish can be great power forwards and a great 5 center, for a National Basketball Association team. I believe the Amish can build one hell of a football course. The Amish can build you anything. And to be truly honest, I feel like the Amish should be having front row, and we should pay respect to the Amish when we at sports games. The police, the military, and the Amish.
Hey, just to let you know, too, Ed in Columbus ended up saying that Stephen R. has a neck and Windhorse doesn't.
My man, Ed in Columbus. Ed in Columbus, when I get back on Twitter, after my fingers get better, Ed in Columbus, my man, we got a lot to talk about. Ed in Columbus, my man, I can tell you're a big Stephen R. fan. And let me tell you something, Ed in Columbus, thank you for believing in your man, Stephen R. Smith.
What's wrong
maybe
with-
one day me and you should have a sit down in the chat, Jack.
What's wrong with your fingers?
Nothing's wrong with my fingers, Jack. I just want to make sure that I'm heard and that I'm seen and that everybody knows that I'm not mean. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
Dude,
Sure.
what is that part of the Covidius 420 that you like ended up burning your finger?
What are you, Dikembe Mutombo?
Not in Payton's house. No. I see my man Dikembe Mutombo Jumbo play. And that man had big ears and he swore like Dumbo. I watched that man Dikembe Mutombo have a triple-double with 27 points, 17 rebounds, and 13 assists against the Utah Jazz back in 1993. And he walked up to me, he took off that big Janumbus mumbo jumbo jersey. And he said, Stephen R., this is for you. And I tell you something, me and Betty used that thing as a blanket 3 times over on the car ride back to New York City, Titty.
Oh, man. So what are your thoughts on Yao Ming? Like, what's your relationship with him? Did you ever have a relationship with Yao Ming if we're talking about big man?
Okay, let me tell you something. I was at a urinal one time next to your boy Yao Ming. And when I was
Did
next
you
to the
look
urinal
at
with
it?
your boy,
Hold on. Did you look at it?
Let me get there. So I'm at the urinal, I'm looking at Yao Ming, and next thing I know, I had to look up to speak to him. So my neck was killing me. So I had to look down. So I ended up looking even down, and I looked down, and I looked down even more, and I said, what, you got about 3 points in your pants, buddy? What's going on with you?
And
so your man Yao Ming attempted to fling me almost out of a urinal. So a big cluster fudge happened, and the Houston Chronicle had to get involved. And then I had to talk to the Houston police and almost filed charges in a suit against the man. But I realized the man had a bad day, and the man did not want his Johnson & Johnson looked at. But I didn't mean to look at the Johnson & Johnson. I was looking up my neck hurt, and then I diverged my way down.
It was just at eye level, huh?
Those urinals is tall in the Houston Summit when the Rockets used to play. Let me tell you something. I had to get a booth up to the urinal.
What?
A what? A
I
booth?
had to get a booster seat for the urinal.
A boost? A booster
You know
seat?
how when you go out to eat with the kids and the kids need a high seat, a booster seat
Yes.
for like the little infant, little child? Pat,
Yeah.
please don't die. Don't choke, buddy. Drink something.
I'm all out.
You're all out, brother. Oh, man. I forgot what I was going to say right there, but we can diverge to the next question. Ed in Columbus, Stephen R. loves you. Stephen R. respects you. Stephen R.'s got to hang out with you. Stephen R.'s got to get you an autograph.
All right, Stephen R. Oh, what do we got? Well, okay, well, the topic of the day has been so far with baseball, with the White Sox and Twins game, with German Mercedes swinging 3-0 with the position player having a 47 mile per hour pitch. Would you swing at 3-0 if you're up 15-4?
To be truly honest, man, I'm going to look at it like this. I know baseball is a game of inches, and I'm not talking about Yao Ming right now. Do you understand what I'm saying? What I would do in that situation, Minton, I would not swing. I would not. I wouldn't even check my swing. I would sit there intense. I would sit there focused. And the second that pitcher lets go with that off the bag, your boy Stephen R. stand still like ice. Ice, baby. And then when that ump looks and says, ball 4, your boy Stephen R. is going to politely sit down in the bat because I'm not bat flipping and your boy's not going to get punched like Jose Batista. So I'm going to politely sit down my back and your boy, I'm going to skip across the first base. knowing what I did, knowing that I got inside the pitcher's head, knowing that I can swing if I wanted to. And the fact that I did not swing on that 3-0 pitch should make that pitcher feel like a bitch. You understand what I'm saying?
I love the fact that he was like, I'm not going to swing at 3-0, and I'm going to gently set this bat down, but I'm going to fucking skip to first. Like, what?
Skip to my Lou, my Payton.
I was waiting for you to say skip to my Tyronn Lue, but all right.
Do you know, do you have any relationship with Shannon Sharp?
My man Shannon Sharp, let me tell you something. My man Shannon Sharp, if you follow him on any sorts of forms of social media, I'm not going to put his business out here like that. But the man likes his California hospitality. The man likes to get down with the Cheech and Chong. For my wrestling fans, the man likes to get down like Rob Van Dam and some Matt Riddle. You understand what I'm saying? He'll have you so fried you think your brain's on a griddle. You see what I'm saying? My man Shannon Sharp, one of the best tight ends in the game. Man won 2 championships with my man Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning. God dang it. What is your name? John Elway.
There you
That's
go.
how this COVIDius has got me all messed up, boys. Shannon Sharp likes to talk a lot, but when that man gets under the influence, you would think that there's something wrong with the man because the man don't speak. Me and the man Shannon Sharp got a great relationship, and I don't know how he can do a show with that man Skip Bayless. I could not do it whatsoever.
You should get
Me
him
and Skip
on.
Bayless cannot be on the same show. I already share a house with Brian Kellerman sometimes. You understand? It's just too much for your boy.
So how's things going with Max Kellerman, though, his brother?
Max Kellerman, let me tell you something. I ran into Max Kellerman a little bit at the NFL draft downtown, and I went to go film, and he said, Stephen R., don't film me. Stephen R., I heard what you've been saying on the show about the chicken paprikash. And you want to know what Max Kellerman said?
What'd he say?
Chicken pepper.
Stephen R., I apologize. Stephen R., it was not you. Stephen R., I know who took my chicken paprikash. And do you want to know who I took the blame for?
Adam Van Pelt.
I think it was Betty.
No, it wasn't Betty. It was another ESPN sports analyst.
It was Rachel Pennies.
The one, the only
Stuart Scott.
Mina Meow Meow Kimes that took that from him because she had to go on the set of NFL Live and she was hungry. And I don't blame her for being hungry because she's a petite little thing. And so she took it. No one's going to blame that sweet little mouse of her. So they came to your boy, the loud mouth, the man who's always in the fridge, Jack.
Stephen Hart, why does it always seem that you're always getting into trouble somehow? Like you ended up having to sell your glasses to get a ride from Big 40, and you had to end up having an opportunity to get like 4 cars and 7 T-shirts, but instead you ended up, I don't even know what you did with that. And then you ended up getting in a fight with Yao Ming at the urinal.
Do you even like chicken pepperkash?
Brother, I never had it before, and I would like to have it someday. I almost had some on Mother's Day.
You should have
when
stolen
my friend Riggs went to the gym with Payton, and I guess Payton was going to give him some paprikash because Payton knew your boy was messed up with COVIDius 420, and he wanted the boy to eat. I overheard Payton in the driveway talking to Riggs about chicken paprikash, and I got cold sweats and I almost had diarrhea because that's how mad it made me because I was thinking about Max so bad. But instead, I had to help your boy Riggs with a stupid hot water tank that exploded in his basement.
Well, that sounds like a time.
So Stephen Hart, how's things going with the ladies, man? Because like it seems that you're really going down the women tangent again. Like, is everything okay with the ladies? Like, do you need does Stephen R need like speed dating, Stephen Aura dating?
That's what you should do with your app.
Stephen R. I've been on Twitter. I've been on all those dating sites. And the awkward thing is when I see women at the 4-letter network, ESPN, and your boy goes to swipe on them, they don't swipe on your boy, Stephen R., because they say I'm a loudmouth. They say I will be the one that's the screamer.
I mean, they're not
sack,
wrong.
Jack. But little do you know, I'm like a mime in that mother.
All right, so like I don't even think that answered my question.
No.
What else is new? All right, Stephen R., what's your favorite number?
My favorite number, let me tell you what my favorite number is. My favorite number is 45. Let me tell you why it's 45.
Pedro Martinez.
It's not Pedro Martinez, but that's a good one. Martinez. What I like the number 45 is for my man Michael Jeffrey Jordan. when he came back at the end of the 93-94 season when he wore number 45. He was in a playoff game against one of the Orlando Magic. And I believe it was Nick Anderson of the Orlando Magic that said, 45 don't play like 23. And what happened? 45 went back to 23. I believe the number 45 represents pride. The number 45 is 2.5 to 3 numbers away from 42, which the man Jackie Robinson.
Hold on. We got to do some of this math. How is 45 2.5 to 3 away from 42?
You got a remainder, which is 1. And when you're after your remainder, you're done dividing after that. You understand what I'm saying? You got one remainder, and then you got to put the one number into the other column.
Okay.
The Darren Collinson.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
No.
Should I write this down on a piece of paper?
Yes, please do.
Yeah,
Let me get me some goddamn piece of paper here.
And while you're doing that, have you seen, I'm assuming so, judging by the fact that you're a sports analyst, but the Knicks are in the playoffs.
I'd bet them to win.
My Knickerbockers are in the playoffs, man. And I'm going to tell you something. I got to find a goddamn pen in this house. Your boy Riggs ain't got no pen in this house whatsoever.
Where is Riggs?
Ain't this about a son of a snitch?
Where is Riggs?
Well, let me explain that math to you before I get into my New York Knicks in the playoff. Okay? 45 is about 2.5 to 3 numbers away from 42, right?
Sure.
You're gonna put 45 on top of 42. Okay. You're gonna do that math. Okay. You're gonna take that number that you got to the right and you're gonna put it to the upper right-hand side, which is pi, which is 3.14 and some change.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you cannot have an obtuse moment. No obtuse moment because that number will be too big.
All right.
That's why it is only 2.5 to 3 with the remainder as 1, son. You see my degrees. You see my diplomas.
I've seen blank pieces of paper.
You see my credentials.
Oh, man.
All right. What about the Knicks?
What about that math? I'm still confused. Stephen R., why aren't you a math teacher?
Everybody watching, everybody that listens in the future is going to be confused.
Yeah.
But my New York Knicks are in the NBA playoffs. And let me tell you how happy I am. I don't see a Larry O'Brien championship happen down Broadway in 55th by MTV in New York City this year. No, I don't. I see my New York Knickerbockers probably getting eliminated in the first round of the NBA playoffs.
I hope you're wrong.
But that's okay. That's going to be room to improve. That's going to be room to get better. And that's going to be room to get and room to build.
You don't think
the Big Apple in the year 2022 should be a great year for the city of New York because you already seen what they can get into the playoffs one year. Now you need to build on that, Jack. Your boy will try to get tickets in New York City back in his home so you can see I can see my New York Knickerbockers play. Sitting next to Spike Lee, sitting next to Jerry Seinfeld, sitting next to the chick from Frozen so we can all let it go.
So you don't think the Knicks can beat the Hawks?
Not if Trae Young keeps balling the way that he does.
Okay.
I don't think so. The man's got handles. I would think he's a chubby chick, how much handles that he's got. Do you understand what I'm saying? The man's got handles for days.
That
the
I
man's
understand.
got curly hair like a curly suit for days.
What number?
I don't know if the point guard on my Knicks can compare with that. I do see my New York Knicks at least maybe win the 1 to 2 games. But like I said, I see this only being how can I call it? Like the 2013 wild card with the Cleveland Indians. This is only the beginning of something special.
All right.
So, Stephen R., before we end up letting you go, what are your closing thoughts for today? And hopefully we end up seeing you and Riggs next week.
God damn it. I'm sorry to even swear on that. Even if your boy Riggs is going to take the points and he's going to have to put on his big boy pants and call off work like a jerk, or even if the lady at HR and the new person making his schedules can hurry up and get off vacation so they can at least give him the time that he needs. And then me and him can both be up there with you. Pat don't say Jack. Hopefully my man Keith gets back from the movie. And Tyler, you better be taking care of Betty or things go get sweaty.
What about me?
I said I missed you.
Okay, I just wanted to double check. I don't think I heard that part, but I'm not used to being missed.
Ed in Columbus, where you at, Jack?
He's still watching. Make sure you say bye to Ed in Columbus.
Ed in Columbus, I'm gonna tell you something special about myself, Ed in Columbus. I was once kicked out of an interview with Jessica Simpson. Now, Jessica Simpson is a famous actress, and she was doing the song for that Dukes of Hazzard movie. Those boots are made for walking.
That's
And let me tell you
Shania
something.
Twain, isn't it?
I end up having to walk off that set like a quick jet because Ashton Kutcher had to put some ice cubes down your boy Stephen Ara's, and I had to go. Jessica Simpson, love you, babe. That was a great set, and I was happy to watch that music video back then. I ain't seen a music video made in front of me ever since because I think I'd be creeping some people out. I think before the director yells cut, I'm the one yelling cut.
And that's all for Ed to know, right?
That's all for you, Ed. Ed in Columbus, if you tweet me, I will slide in your DMs and I will share some prolific dictionaries, Stephen R. Smith words with you because I appreciate the fact that you appreciate me, Jack.
Hell yeah. Well, on that note, next week, 7:30 to 9:30 on Wednesdays on the We Like Sports podcast. Stay tuned.
And I've not said this, or Riggs ain't even said this in the week. Y'all got to shave your balls out there. With the promo code SPORTS with the Z, SPORTZ, the Lawnmower 3.0, ball shaver, ball deodorant, ball toner. It's all there. Your boy Stephen R uses it. I don't share Riggs's with his. No, not in his house, because that's nasty. And your boy Stephen R ain't nasty. Why I'm not that nasty? Because I shave my balls with Manscaped. And I watch, and I listen, and I am on the We Like Sports podcast when I can be. 7:30 to 9:30. Facebook Live, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Twitch, all of it.
Sounds good.
Bye.